I'm Jaclyn Chan, and I just completed 1B. I was part of the AcaBellas in fall 2019 and winter 2020, and I helped choreograph our ICCA set.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I was the musical director for the AcaBellas Winter 2020 term. And here is our ICCA set.
Super Trouper, beams are gonna blind me, but I won't feel blue like I always do, 'cause somewhere in the crowd there's you.
This right here, what we're going to be going over is our first song from our ICCA 2020 set. The song we decided to do was Super Trouper by ABBA. The main reason we chose this song is because it's super relatable to us as performers. The whole meaning of the song about feeling like alone on stage, but then you look on the audience and you see that one person and you're like, you know what, I feel supported, I feel really like at peace here on stage.
The song's kind of like being lonely in a big crowd, so we wanted to kind of show that with the two circles, where Catherine, our soloist, was within a big crowd, but everyone was facing away from her, so she kind of emulates the feeling of being alone amidst the large crowd.
'Cause somewhere in the crowd there's you.
This part when we're walking in opposite directions is one of my favorite visual parts of the choreography, because it really shows the whole idea of us creating an organized chaos. It really helps make 17 of us seem like a bigger group than we are.
I was sick and tired of everything when I called you last night from Glasgow.
I thought that the way that we kind of styled this with a very kind of like vintage kind of hip shake, if that's what you call it. It kind of brought back a vintage
It's like a showgirl
vibe.
hip shake.
It like brought back a really vintage kind of vibe. I don't know. That's at least how I felt about it. But
No, I definitely agree
I liked
with
it. Yeah.
The choreo for this song definitely is much more throwbacky and not as modern as some of the other choreo that we've done throughout the term, but it works very well with like this song that is pretty old.
It's gonna be so different when I'm on the stage tonight.
Whenever we do this part where we're like crescendoing in our music or something, I absolutely love when we like reach out and we visually show and almost conduct ourselves in the music as well. It really helps us as performers as well actually like get that dynamic change as well.
Smiling, having fun, feeling like a number one. Tonight the Super Trouper beams are gonna blind me, but I won't feel blue like I always do, 'cause somewhere in the crowd there's you.
We start going into this movement where our legs kind of do this cute little kick. We started affectionately calling this the Super Trouper move, and we brought this back a couple times throughout the piece, and I just thought it was a really good embodiment of kind of this lighthearted vibe that we wanted with the song. I think it was Kayla who was the original founder of this move. She was super excited about it and did it at a ×4 speed, so we slowed it down to make it look more less hyperactive, and I think it ended up working out really well for our group. The different movements with the arms, so we did number 1, our whole group would lift our arms up and reach to the sky, and we also did for blinding, we'd always have this arm movement, and I felt like these motifs helped make our whole choreography seem more cohesive towards the audience when different motifs kept showing up again.
Because it was definitely like, it's a huge theme for our choreography with this set to kind of like match the simplicity of the song, and we wanted to bring back a lot of motifs throughout it, and I think that really shows well when you compare each of the different courses we've done and the variations of our choreo in that.
Losing 20,000 of your friends, how can anyone be so lonely?
I really love that part where we're like lonely and we just kind of like lean in towards her, because it kind of just shows how that's really how each of us are kind of feeling in that moment, since it's not just like Catherine the performer who's like, oh, I'm on stage feeling super lonely, but it's also each of us individually as fellow like ensemble members, I guess, also feel that way as well. right on the word lonely.
Part of the success that never ends. Still I'm thinking about you.
And I think this is one of my favorite parts of the song. Catherine is walking down basically like a runway of people alone. Jerky movements with the lyrics, think I'm going crazy, just really adds to the visuals. And I really love when we all reach in and hold hands and waterfall out into a new formation, because I think that just looks really visually appealing.
Like the super trouper, lights are gonna find me, shining like the sun, smiling, having fun, feeling like a number one.
And out in the arc, again, we're bringing back some motifs that we established earlier. So we do the Super Trouper move again, the hand flashing move, and our
Number one move.
Our number one victory stance move.
And that little part here, when we were going from like the number one back into our Super Trouper move, I just wanted to like point out how something so simple like that took us so long to be able to really like get it on cue, since even though it's a very simple movement, just going, bringing your arm down, but then trying to transition so everyone steps right on the same foot at the same time. It took a lot of like practice for us to get there, but like the result was really, really clean and really, really elegant.
I think that was one of my favorite things about working in this group of people, was how all of us came from such different backgrounds. So Sophia's more musical background, so she arranged the song, and she's so much more musically talented than I am. But then for choreography, for me, it was so cool to be able to kind of apply some of the skills I learned throughout my life in dance to choreograph for this piece. Sometimes I wouldn't realize that certain movements like were really hard to clean amongst people who never danced before, and also choreographing for music, kind of singing is very different from normal choreography, because we always remember that the mic had to remain attached to the face, and that we effectively only have one hand because the other hand is always holding the mic. That was a good learning experience for me, I think, as someone who's never choreographed for an a cappella show before.
And it's really important as well as something that happened like when we were always at the end of the song. All the performers felt very much like out of breath, since there's so much like energy that since you have to focus on like, are you producing enough sound? Are you following dynamics? But then are you also doing these moves, especially something like Super Trouper that it is an upper and high energy song. And I really think Jaclyn did an amazing job really balancing the two things out in the song.
Like a super trouper, beams are gonna blind me, but I won't feel blue, like I always do, 'cause somewhere in the crowd there's you, so I'll be.
And now we go and transition to the bridge, which musically is actually quite different from the rest of the song, but with good intent, that we wanted to show that this is the point where it's really being explicitly stated to the audience that, hey, I feel actually very comfortable up here because I know these people around me. I know there's someone in the audience there watching and supporting me, and these other people around me are supporting me. And so it's really important that we highlight that with a little bit of difference in the music and in the choreo as well.
So I'll be there when you arrive. The sight of you will prove to me I'm still alive. And when you take me in your arms and hold me tight, I know it's gonna mean so much tonight.
This was definitely one of our lower energy parts of the song, when we were kind of in this tight clump leaning on each other, and this entire bridge kind of part of the song was a chance for all of us to take a breath, because most of the choreography we were all dashing around the stage the whole time, and this is the one part of the choreography where everything kind of slows down and our vocals are really highlighted.
I know it's gonna mean so much tonight. Tonight the Super Trouper lights are gonna find me, shining like the sun, smiling, having fun, feeling like a number one.
We come out and we twirl and we have this beautiful crescendo, and then we cut out. So we get rid of the beatbox, the the A2s have this really funky bass line that kind of like keeps going throughout the whole song to keep the energy up and like the funk and brings and really shows the funkiness of the time period that the song was made in. But we cut that out here and it really just highlights our vocal parts in it. And yet again, this is one of our many scatters where we're all purposefully not looking at each other, looking in different locations, kind of showing a bit of the loneliness. But the difference is that though we aren't looking at each other, I think it's conveyed a little more that we do feel each other's presence and we feel each other's support and security on stage.
The super trooper beams are gonna blind me, but I won't feel super.
I liked this part because we were all in a clump, and it shows that it kind of really contrasts from the beginning when we're all in a circle and facing outwards and not a united group. And this part makes our group look really united because we're all in a clump together facing the same direction. It's like we've kind of gone on a journey together to find a place where we're not lonely on stage.
'Cause somewhere in the crowd there's you. Beams are gonna blind me.
And to really bring our whole idea that we're coming full circle home is we actually ended our piece in the same formation that we started it, and so we had the two circles that were walking in opposite directions again, so it kind of has the same vibe of the organized chaos. However, at the end, instead of the beginning where we're walking very quickly in opposite directions, we walked very slowly in opposite directions to move into our next song's formation. So in that way, it kind of brought some familiarity for the audience to see the formation come back, but it also showed that there has been some development in the piece. We had a lot of fun when we were choreographing, trying to create movement that conveyed a meaning, and I think we did a really good job with having most of our movements really work towards conveying our emotions and message across.
I think Super Trouper for like our choreo is one of the most meaningful ones, and really just it felt good to perform this song.
It really did, and it was low-key kind of good cardio, even though it wasn't that much movement, but it was hard to move that much and sing at the same time.
Definitely, 100%.
All right, there's Super
Alrighty,
Trouper
I think
for you.
we're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Super Trouper, Winter 2020. Thanks for watching.